Now look, who's this guy Ken Timmerman? This is a guy that has stirred up, he's a bigger pop star than I am. During President Clinton's tenure, he stirred up so much activity then, so much investigative reporting. He was audited every year by the federal government. It wasn't until Clinton left that they left him alone. That's because Ken Timmerman seeks for the truth. He doesn't quit. He's like an attack dog. He'll be our attack dog. We need to get rid of Chris Van Jobless, not Chris Van Hollen. That guy represents me. No. This is going to be my congressman in the 8th District. He can be your congressman in the 8th District. But you need to pick up the phone. You need to email your friends, the social media. You need to make sure that we turn out the vote and put Chris Van Jobless on the unemployment line and allow this patriot, this American hero, this public servant to get in there, turn this country around, save this country, and Ken Timmerman can be part of that solution. Please get out the word. It's my privilege and honor to introduce our next Congressman of District 8, Congressman Ken Timmerman.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Commissioner Blaine Young, and thank you, Amy, for coming with the Tea Party Express. And we got rained out on Monday. We had been planning to come for a tour all through the district, starting in Westminster, coming to Thurmont at the wonderful Shamrock Restaurant up in Thurmont. We wanted to go down to Frederick City and then over to Mount Airy and then down into Montgomery County in the lower parts of the district. And we wanted the Tea Party Express bus to go to Tacoma Park. We thought it was important to take our message of fiscal conservatism and of freedom to the bastion of the leftovers of the 1960s. But the Lord apparently had a different plan, and He wanted us to be up here on this pickup this afternoon, and I'm so glad to be here with Blaine. I'm so glad to be here with Amy. I want to share with you a couple of very quick stories from the campaign trail. I just came up this morning from Montgomery County during early voting, and I've never been much of a fan of early voting, but I must say the past couple of days I have been stunned at the number of Democrats who have come up to me, first of all, in the line, as they've been waiting, to tell me they're going to vote for me. And then who have come out from having voted and said, I voted for you, and then raised their voice and said, I'm a Democrat, and I'm never voting for a Democrat again in my life. This country is turning around, my friends. This country is turning around. You are part of the revolution. I have told you all along, this is an insurrection that we are waging. We are going to beat Chris Van Hollen in November. This is a district that is now a 51-49 district. The Washington Post won't tell you that, but you know it. You're seeing it out on the ground. I'm seeing it out on the ground. All right? We are going to win in November. Now, in January, I've got a lot of work to do. When I get down to Washington to represent the wonderful people of Frederick County and Carroll County and Montgomery County in the 8th District, the very first vote I'm going to take will be to repeal Obamacare. This is big government gone wild with 159 new government programs, 21 new taxes. Any person under the age of 30 should be very afraid of Obamacare because they are going to hire 16,000 IRS agents to get in your wallet. And if they can't find your wallet, they're going to find your bank account, and they're going to get into that. And they're going to especially make sure that young people pay that tax, $2,500 a year for the Obama tax. Now, by the way, my opponent, Chris Van Hollen, thinks Obamacare is a great idea. He thinks it's great to take $716 billion away from current Medicare recipients to finance his big government gone wild program. My opponent, Chris Van Hollen, thinks it's a great idea to raise taxes. How many of you think your taxes are too low? Well, I think your taxes are just about where they ought to be, if not lower. Chris Van Hollen thinks we're one government program. He thinks that we're one government program away from utopia. Do you all want more government? Bigger government? I think we need to get government back into its constitutional boundaries. Chris Van Hollen thinks that we have a revenue problem in Washington. He thinks Washington needs more money. Do you think Washington needs more money? No! I think Washington needs less money. If they have less money, they'll spend less. We have a revenue problem, my friends, not We have a spending problem, my friends, not a revenue problem. We need to cut our spending now, and I will do that in Washington this coming January. Now, Amy and Blaine mentioned Benghazi Gate, and I was kind of joking with Blaine early on as we started off. I said, I haven't been shot at in anger in 6 years since I was in northern Israel during the 2006 war. During that same war, my opponent, Chris Van Hollen, was writing to Condoleezza Rice to tell her that the United States has to put pressure on the government of Israel to stop its bombing campaign against Lebanese civilians. Well, I can tell you, I was on the ground. I saw exactly what happened. I was in a bunker with Bibi Netanyahu in Kiryat Shmona in northern Israel, and we were in that bunker because Hezbollah rockets were crashing all around us. And I can tell you, the only civilian bombing campaign that went on that summer of 2006 was ordered by the Islamic Republic of Iran. It was carried out by Hezbollah, and the victims were Israeli civilians. My opponent has been beating up on Israel from day one. I guarantee you I will support a strong U.S.-Israel relationship. I understand that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. It always has been, and it always will be, for all eternity. Now, in Benghazi Gate, I was scandalized recently, and I hope you were too, when you learned that President Obama was in the Situation Room, Blaine, and they had a live video feed from over our consulate in Benghazi. As our people were being murdered, the President and his advisors were watching it on live TV. Can you imagine that? And they sat back and they did nothing. I think that's a disgrace. I think it's immoral. We have got to get Obama out of office on November 6th. And I need all of you out at the polls. We're going to beat Obama. We're going to bring President Romney into office in January. And I look forward to being your next congressman from the 8th District of Maryland. God bless you all.